So do these people actually think that this is going to fix anything? Do they do they actually think that this is going to fix anything? This fixes nothing. This fixes nothing. This doesn't fix the movie. The movie is still garbage. The movie is still a trash movie. This uh welcome everybody. Welcome back to my channel, and I am here to basically talk about this thing that just got released basically on the internet. Now, if anyone wants to know where this is from, a YouTuber named Star Wars Theory, which by the way you should go check out his channel. I like his channel. You should go check it out. But Star Wars Theory basically released a video where he revealed that he was sent a page from the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker, which isn't supposed to be released until I think a couple of weeks from now. And he was basically, someone managed to get their hands on a copy, and they sent him a page that apparently reveals that, or I guess confirms that the Palpatine we saw in The Rise of Skywalker was actually a clone. It turns out this wasn't the real Palpatine, this was just a clone. Okay, few things I want to talk about with this. A, or just not A. So, okay, first of all, I just want to cover this. I just want to talk about this because I know that some people might think this. No, this was never their plan. Okay, this was never their plan. They never planned on Palpatine actually being a clone. Okay? This was never their plan. This was never once in their minds. Never once did they ever think, you know what? Let's just make, you know what? Let's bring back Palpatine, but only as a clone, so that it's not the real Palpatine that Anakin killed at the end of Return of the Jedi. No. Because if this was indeed their plan from the beginning, then you know what? It would have been in the movie. It would have been in the movie. And for anyone wondering, well, wait, wouldn't it have been difficult for them to add it to the movie? No, it wouldn't have been difficult. It would have taken them like 50, maybe a minute of dialogue to just maybe between Palpatine and Kylo to explain that this is a clone, that this is just a clone body. It would have taken them like just a minute to explain this. But no, they didn't include it in the movie because this was never their plan. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. This was never their plan. This is a retcon. This is without a doubt a retcon. Do not ever think that this was ever anything else. This was never in the plan. So let's just get that out of the way. Second thing that I want to talk about with this is that this is a blatant ripoff of Dark Empire. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, in the old EU, in the expanded universe, which is now Legends, because Lucasfilm is so smart. It's so smart. Dark Empire, for anyone who doesn't know, basically there was a story in the EU that it was basically a series of comics that were published by Dark Horse, and essentially what it was is that after a few, I think it definitely took place after Return of the Jedi. It took place after Return of the Jedi, and it details that Luke Skywalker apparently was out there, and he discovered there was this disturbance in the Force, and he was trying to find out what it is. And it led him to a planet that was basically covered in dark side energy. And dark side energy of the Force. And it led him to discovering that you saw the Emperor. The Emperor was alive, but they revealed that this wasn't the real Emperor. This was just a clone that happened to house the essence of Palpatine, and that these bodies that inhabit his essence aren't strong enough to basically house all of his power. So basically, what he does is he basically ends up tempting Luke over to the dark side. But Luke, however, at the beginning is only pretending to fall to the dark side so he can discover how to just defeat him, but in the process does end up falling to the dark side. Now, I know a lot of people have a problem with this, and I get it, but me personally, I've never once had a problem with Dark Empire. People had a problem with Dark Empire because if the Emperor's alive, then doesn't that technically render Anakin's sacrifice meaningless? No, I never once saw it like this because it was a clone. It wasn't the real Palpatine. The real Palpatine didn't survive the explosion of the Death Star. This was just a clone. This was not the real Palpatine. So I never had a problem with it. I know a lot of people probably had a problem with, Luke actually succumbing to the dark side, even though in Return of the Jedi we saw him saying, like, I will never fall to the dark side. I am a Jedi like my father before me. I get that, but you have to understand, he never once willingly fell to the dark side. Initially, it was all part of his plan. It's just that he, unfortunately, ended up underestimating Palpatine's influence, and thankfully, it took Leia connecting with him and helping him remember who he is. Basically, she did for him what he did for Anakin, and they both ended up working together to take down the Emperor, because at the time, Luke still wasn't as powerful as he was later in the EU that we saw in the EU. Like, still wasn't as powerful as Grandmaster Luke. At least that's what I'm assuming. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. So you're telling me that Disney, who decided to completely throw away the expanded universe. They decided to completely throw away the expanded universe. So they said, you know what? We didn't want the expanded universe because we wanted to have the freedom to tell our own stories. And yet here we are, and we're blatantly ripping off a story straight from the expanded universe. Screw you, Lucasfilm. Screw Disney for actually letting this happen. You had a treasure trove of stories that you could have adapted onto the big screen, and instead you decided to throw it away and tell us that it's because we wanted more creative freedom, and yet here you are basically trying to tell us the exact same story. Screw you. You can miss me with that shit. Screw you. Ugh, God, this is so dumb. So I guess we should get into this article, because why not? The novelization of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker confirms Palpatine was a clone. The Disney era of Star Wars has frequently used novelizations to tie up loose ends from the films themselves. No. These are not loose ends. These are blatant plot holes, okay? These are blatant plot holes. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, this is coming to us from Screen Rant, which, by the way, don't go to their website, okay? This is a garbage website. Do not go to them. Don't ever visit their website. Don't give them the clicks. Marketing for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker had emphasized the unexpected return of Emperor Palpatine, and moviegoers were eager to learn how Darth Sidious had survived his death in Return of the Jedi. Remarkably, the film avoided explaining it at all. Ugh. The Emperor hand-waved the question away with a quote from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The dark side, yada yada yada, you all know this. Although the novelization isn't officially on sale until March 17th, Lucasfilm Publishing decided to sell advanced copies at this weekend's C2E2 in Chicago, and passages have begun appearing online. The book does indeed confirm that the Emperor's spirit has been transferred into a clone body. When Kylo arrives on Exegol and encounters Palpatine, he looks closely at the machinery the Emperor is physically attached to and recognizes it from his studies of the Clone Wars. He then deduces that Palpatine's dark side spirit is too strong for the clone body and is causing serious degeneration to it. Again, this is ripped directly from Dark Empire. This is directly from Dark Empire. I mean, this is insane. They're not even trying at this point. There are striking similarities between Palpatine's canon resurrection and his return in the old expanded universe. Like Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, Tom Veitch's Dark Empire miniseries saw Palpatine return, his spirit migrating to a clone body, and he constructed a vast army that incorporated sophisticated super weapons. George Lucas loved Dark Empire. He considered it the closest thing to his idea of a sequel trilogy and gave copies to Lucasfilm employees as a Christmas present. The key difference, however, is that Dark Empire, the clone body, was actually able to contain the Emperor's spirit for a little bit, not for long. Exposure to the dark side of the Force has always had a pronounced effect on a physical body, causing an advanced form of decay. That's why many Sith Lords appear cadaverous, because the stronger they become the dark side, the more notable its effects. Palpatine is the greatest of all the Sith, and it makes perfect sense that no mere clone body could contain his essence. The novelization subtly hints the Emperor has waited as long as he can, watching as the galaxy fell into chaos once again, but now has no choice but to reveal himself. No, 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 no. No, you cannot actually expect me to believe that Palpatine was just sitting by on the sidelines, just doing nothing. Screw you. Screw you for that. Okay, no, fuck you. His clone body is completely failing him. He's running out of the regenerative formulas that have been keeping him alive all these years, and he needs a new host. It is nice to have an explanation of sorts, but something of a shame it wasn't in the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker stuff. No, this I actually do agree with. This should have been in the movie. It wouldn't have made the movie better, but it should have been made. It should have been put in the movie, but they didn't, because like I said, this was never part of their plan. This was never once part of their plan. This is a serious retcon. Their plan was always to bring back the original Palpatine. That was always the plan. And let me ask you this: if this is just a clone, then why does he end up looking exactly like Palpatine did in Revenge of the Sith when he got his powers back? Why didn't he look like? Why wouldn't he put himself in a younger, stronger body? Screw you. Okay? No. This is stupid. This is bullshit. This is a bullshit answer. Screw you. Okay? You should have recognized from the beginning that just Palpatine, like bringing back the real Palpatine, was a bad idea. And now that people have been calling them out on their shit, now they're saying, no. It turns out it was a clone. It was a clone the entire time. No, it wasn't. Screw you. Screw you. And if you believe this, if you actually believe, let me make this clear. If you believe not that this is a retcon, if you believe this is a retcon, if you acknowledge the fact that this is a retcon, and you are okay with it, then you know what? Fine, nothing I can do about that. But if you sit there and actually believe that this was their plan from the beginning, then I am sorry, but you are a moron. If you sit there and actually tell me that you believe that this was their plan from the beginning, then I am sorry, but you are a moron. There is nothing else to say. You are a moron if you actually believe this, and you are exactly who Lucasfilm is hoping will keep showing up to the theaters over and over and over and over again. People who will just buy whatever they're trying to sell every single goddamn time. God damn it, this is dumb. And the worst part of it is that, there was a time when I actually enjoyed covering Star Wars news. There was a time whenever news of Star Wars would come out, and I would actually enjoy it. You know what? I would enjoy getting to hear about the news and actually discussing it with people online. But you know what? Now it's just getting to the point where I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted talking about this. And I never thought that would happen with Star Wars. I never thought I would ever get exhausted talking about Star Wars. And the absolute mess that it's in. And now we're about to get the high diversity republic shit. That's Star Wars is today. It's a complete mess. Anyway, that's it. That's all I had to say on this. Again, I'm sorry I ranted for a bit, but it's just the second I heard about this, it got me so pissed off. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. You guys have been awesome. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And again, there's a link. There should be a link in the description box down below if you want to find another way to support me and this channel. Again, thank you so much for watching. You have all been awesome. I hope you have a good day, and I hope you join me on my next video. Bye.